Hello everyone on YouTube and welcome back to the 48-part tutorial of how to model a basketball court arena. This time I'm gonna open up with saying a few things as always. So I recently changed my operating system into Windows 8, and what was happened is that I was upgrading my hardware. I bought a new GTX 750 Ti card and graphic card. And what happened is that I didn't take in mind that I need to check if it's fitting Mac OS. Now, I took it for granted that if it's GTX, then everything will be fine, and this is what most of the uh, people thinks. I think. Well, maybe. Anyway, it wasn't, and I got into this problem that I still need an operating system, but on the fly, I do want to use this graphic card for whatever use I have. So I changed to Windows 8.1, and I had to relocate a few project files in order to continue this tutorial. And meanwhile that I was thinking about it, I was mainly trying to set up my system, my Windows Point 8.1, with the tools that I need or whatever I need in my computer just to for my daily stuff. So it took me time. And anyway, I'm really sorry if you waited a little bit too long for this, but we're gonna try and sum everything up in the next 2 or 3 parts ahead. Now, one thing I do want to mention is right now that this part will mainly talk about um mental ray proxy objects. Now, at the last couple of days, I think like 2 days ago, I released a standalone part tutorial about mental ray proxy objects. This is the same thing that we're gonna do right now, just with a little bit of add-ons, just so I can fit my scene into whatever I wanna deliver at the next part. So this is what this tutorial part is all about. Now I will try sometimes to catch my breath. I don't know. I have this feeling that I always instruct you, but it's always sound to me like in a rush. And I don't know. Some user pointed this to me, and I think he's right. So I will take my breath here and there. But if it sounds for you a little bit intense, please forgive me. I think I don't know. I just got used to this to talk like that and speed up my talk in order not to start and humming every now and then. So anyway, let's just start. What I was doing, I was opening. For me, it's file that named backstop 44. It contained the backstop, the basketball hoop, along with the texture that we created. But this texture that you see right now on my scene is a texture that I created especially for this part because the other one just lost. I don't know. I forgot a few files to back up. So it's not the same as yours. It's a little bit bigger, and maybe it's not really correct, but it's just for the sake of continuing this tutorial. So what we will do next is we will start first of all assembling the parts of this scene. So I maybe did it earlier on other parts. I don't remember. I have a feeling that I did. I want to clean up this file in order to uh, bring some order to this scene. So I'm gonna start with the locators from the outliner. I'm gonna grab them all and just simply delete them. I don't need them anymore. They're serving no use for me right now, as long as the measurements and everything. And I'm gonna grab everything here. First of all, go over edit, delete by type, and history in order to just remove any history that attached to those polygons here. Now, with that done, I'm gonna grab this group here and ungroup there. Okay, so what I left to do is just simply start picking them and press G because G it's the last function that you used, and this is basically the ungroup. So I'm gonna grab all those group and start and ungroup them. Okay, pressing G. All those with the plus sign next to them, those are group that contain something. If there are group symbols without plus, that means that those are empty groups and you can simply delete them. But we will do this right after I'm ungrouping all those with the plus. So let's finish this. Okay. And now let's grab those. Shift select the last one, delete. This one, delete. This one with the transform can be deleted. Delete, delete, delete. Okay. So right now we have all of these. By the way, I didn't move this. I didn't touch this. Everything is still as we started this model. Okay. So it's real world scale and it's sitting exactly on top of my grid. I don't want to move it up or down on the y-axis. The only thing that I do want is to group this to one group. You can rename it to hoop or something and press enter. And I'm gonna save this file as like, let's call this something new. I don't know, like scene one, okay? I don't know, something like that. So scene one, scene, yeah, that's fine. One, save as, okay? So now this is okay. And the next step we'll go over open scene. I'm gonna open the tribune last part together with one of the chairs that I import back then. So I ain't gonna save this because it's already been saved. And here what I want to do is I want to grab, well, I want to open up the layer with the chair at least. And if you're intending on continuing this, I think it's better for you to continue this at this file, and then whatever you finished and done here, you can import there. But right now, I'm gonna import only the chair as well as, well, why this chair is there? There was another chair there, I'm almost sure. Well, anyway, let's grab this chair together. So chair, yeah, chair and tribune. Okay, I only care for those two objects. Basically, this is 3 objects, but anyway. I'm gonna go over edit, copy, file, open scene, and I'm gonna open scene 1, which is the file that I just saved. Where it is? Hello, scene. I don't find it. Okay, open. Yeah, I don't want to save this. All right. So now we have 2 layers, or, well, let's see. We have this and that and that. And let's do something. Let's select objects and remove selected objects. Let's remove selected objects. I don't know. Remove and right click. Let's delete this layer. Let's delete this layer and let's delete this layer. Okay. And we create another and layer from this and call it hoop 1 because we can't give the same name to 2 different things in Maya. So even if it's a group, you can't call it hoop, only hoop 1. So save this. And now that it's done, I'm gonna go over edit, paste, okay? And this is our tribune, right? Now, as I told you, this is still on real world scale. Now, in order for me to bring this into real world scale, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a polygon plane, okay? On my grid, press F to zoom on it. And you wanna scale this up to 2865 and 15, well, I need to check this again. Let's open this. Google. Well, basketball court wiki. Right. So 2665. I know this is the value for this, but this is, I think, 1524. I'm not sure. Yeah, 15, 24. Okay, so 15, 24. So this is the chord um, scale, right? Now you want to grab this and rotate this that way, so it will be at the same direction axis of the hoop, okay? And you want to grab the chord itself, rotate it at the same direction. Now, if you recall in the process when we created this, you know, chord tribune, I patched the chord uh, into the tribune with those faces here and those. So basically, this thing here in the middle, this is our chord. This is the actual chord, and I need to scale it up so it will be at the same size as this chord that I just created now, the plane. Okay, so this is just a ruler for us to just determine what will be the size of our tribune. So I can delete this right now, and I'm gonna grab the hoop. Let's grab the hoop, switch to scale to move tool, and just bring this here because this is in the middle. Okay, if you've done everything correctly as I done until now, this should work out for you. Okay, so just bring this a little bit backwards, and we will always be able to set this a little bit farther or nearer to the chord itself. So by now, that's all good. The next thing is basically I'm gonna save this file, save scene. Okay, and the next thing is basically our mental ray proxy object. So if you don't know nothing about this, this is good and you can continue. If you already know what this is, uh, give it a rest and go do something else until I will launch the next part. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna grab the chair, and I expect you to save the file again as I did. Let's grab the chair. This is the chair group. Let's find it. Press F to zoom on it. Oh, okay. Hello, chair. So what you want to do with the chair, you want to assign it to a new layer first. Okay, let's assign it to a new layer. Let's rename this layer as chair. Let's try to save it as chair. Okay. And what I want to do here is I want to grab this chair, rotate it to one of those axes, the sides of the tribune. So hold on the J, rotate it that way, modify, center the pivot, edit, delete by type, history, and I'm gonna grab this chair and relocate this to at least one of those stairs here. Okay, the first stairs. Oops, here. Okay, now I need to determine what will be the size of this and see if this is really fit us. So that, okay. Now I think that this is really small chair, so I'm gonna scale this up. And I'm gonna move the pivot of this. Okay, hold on the D, V again, and both of them, and move this to this area, to this 90 degrees angle here, where the seat is mounted to the concrete. Okay, like that. So now I can move this and hold on the V key and snap it. Well, I can't snap it to this edge, though I can bring this on top of this edge of the stair, and whenever I will scale this, it will scale up or scale down from that point. So it won't change the height of the stair after I will position this, like I'm doing now. Okay, positioning it. Okay, this good, good, and that's good. Let's see if the chair is scaled up. We need to scale this up. You can see it's really small. So now that I scaled this, it still remains on the edge here. Okay, so let's say this scale is good enough for us. We can scale this a little bit more. And while you decided that this is good for you, maybe a little bit more. Let's see. Person is sitting here. His legs is dropped down to the floor. and that's all good. Maybe you have a little bit bigger ass, and that's good. So we're gonna grab this and move this to the grid here, back to the grid. Now I want you to pay attention that this chair should be sit on top of your grid right now. Okay, just like so. And one, and I want this to be very much like that. See? I don't know why, but I'm trying to do something here, and if it will succeed, then I will tell you it succeeded. But if not, then that's still good. It still work out for us. I'm just trying to figure out how this thing works when you want to consider some other things. Anyway, this is inside my ad, something that I thought about. Then I want to just prove it or not. We'll see. So now, what we're going to do is we're going to create a proxy object. What proxy object is some kind of a method in order to, campus, I don't know, a campus as much or just populate as much as more things into your scene without, with the low cost. Make sure, well, I'm trying to find a way how to say this. Anyway, whenever you amount your scene with a lot of objects, your poly count is just raised up. Now, proxy objects are basically some kind of a, I don't know, it looks like an hologram of your object, which represented by can be represented by only one face. Okay, so if this chair right now we have on top of it, I don't know, like um, 1,272, or I don't know, 8,854 faces. We're gonna replace this with a cube which has only 6 faces, and we will duplicate this cube, and this cube will represent our chair. Now, on your work area, it will look like a cube, but when you're gonna render this cube will show up as your chair. And this is what proxy object is. So basically, we will take a cube, assign a file that we're gonna create now, which is the chair, and this file will be attached to the cube and just showed up as a chair whenever you're gonna render this. So how it works, it's pretty easy to set this up, but you first need to make sure that you first of all add shaders, and you, as well as changing the values that you need. I mean, reflections, or whatever you have. If it's a texture file, you're gonna assign it right now. Whenever you finish, you want to make sure that your object is as well as smoothed. Okay, so right now I'm using smooth preview, and that's good. But you want to make sure that whenever you do the create the proxy object, it's still smooth preview and not else like that. Okay, so just make sure that everything is how you need it to look like. Okay, and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna assign new materials. But first of all, let me go over window, setting preferences, and plugin manager. And you want to make sure you load up Maya2MR.mll in Windows. For Mac users, it's .bundle. And you want to make sure those two boxes are loaded. And you want to make sure that here on the render setting, you change your render using type into mental ray. And you can close this. We will deal with settings of render settings later on. Right now, it's just in the sake of this part tutorial. So right click, assign new material. I'm gonna switch to this tab here, mental ray, and choose Maya Material X. I'm gonna go over edit, delete by type for the seat, the back seat. Okay. Well, delete by type history. So I can see the tabs here in the attribute editor. This is the shader that I just assigned to this. So I'm gonna call this back. Okay. And back seat. I don't know how to. No, I'm not typing a lot of English. So if this is not correct, that's good. So let's change this color to something nice. I don't know, something like orange, like so. And you can do any other. I'm just showing what to do, and if this is not okay with you, just do other color. But make sure the reflectivity is set to about, I don't know, 200 reflectivity. Glossiness much lower, something like 350. Okay, this will be a rough plastic kind of look. Okay, something like that. And you can see this on top of the shader. It's not something that I'm making up. I'm just using my eyes to translate whatever I see here on this little thumbnail. And whenever it looks good for me, and I know that I really lowered down the reflectivity and everything, then this is good. Gonna go over here, right click, assign new material, Maya material X again. Let's give this another color, but let's rename this. Okay, so I'm gonna call this butt seat. Okay, and I'm gonna change the color into something like purple, or I don't know, let's do something nice. Ah, that's it. That's ugly. Well, I think the orange is ugly, so I can't really tell right now. Maybe I will do here red, and the other one it will be blue. Okay, I don't know. We shall see. I'm gonna set this values, same values of the reflectivity, Control C, these. So Control V. Let's grab those values, Control C, and glossiness, Control V. Okay, and let's just change this to something like blue. Okay, I think this blue is a little bit too much blue, but anyway, let's try maybe like so. And the red, we'll change it to something like that. Well, anyway, it's plastic, whatever. Now, this one, I want this to be red as well because this color is just dividing. So I'm gonna assign, right click assign existing material, and I'm gonna assign the butt seat to this, okay? Butt seat shader. So this done, both smooth preview, this smooth preview, you're gonna grab these, control unselect these. You wanna go over, I don't know, I'm doing this just as precautions. So delete by type history, modify freeze transformation. You want to go over file. You want to go over, you want to select them. You want to make sure that they are selected. Export selection options. I'm going to reset this. And here, file type, you want to change it to mental ray. And you want to make sure the file type specific option, you change this into render proxy assembly. Then you click export selection. Now, if you selected them and do this, then you will get this box whenever you click on the export selection. So you want to save this. Now, right now, I'm set on my project folder, basketball arena scene, and this is where it's going to save this. So you want to make sure that here you type in, I don't know, something like seat, okay, or chair. Chair. You want to make sure here it says, this is just for safety, make sure it's export selection output render proxy assembly. If you ain't gonna change this, what will happen is that your file will miss some geometry. Okay, so make sure you do this and click export selection. Now you can do two things from here. You can either delete this file, you can either remove it to a new file and just save it somewhere safe, so you will have a backup of it. Basically, you should have a backup because we already import this file from another file. But anyway, you can delete it. You don't need it right now on your scene. And what you want to do is, well, I'm going to delete it, okay? Or maybe I'm going to save it on the layer that I already have, and I just hide it, okay? This is another option. Now, you want to go over, create a cube. Now, I told you that I created a tutorial, standalone tutorial part, especially for mental ray proxy objects. Now, the thing about that tutorial is that I also tested something, and it was taking just a plane instead of a cube and try to see if this works. So one plane with one face only contain one face, but cube contains 6 faces. This is the minimum, right? Or this is the only number that you can add a cube. So, well, 6 faces. Well, yeah, it's minimum because you can add geometry, edges, and whatever. But anyway, we're gonna use cube. You're gonna create a cube into your scene, and you wanna open the attribute editor. You wanna change here to pcube shape, whatever number will be here, and you wanna expand the mental ray tab here. Where it says render proxy, you wanna click on this folder icon. You wanna make sure that you are on your project folder inside scene folder, and choose that folder, that file that you just exported as proxy object, okay, chair mi. So I'm gonna open this, and you can see that the cube is being updated and it's just grew a little bit bigger. And you can see some of it is down there, and this is what I was experimenting in my mind. Now, what I want to do here is very simply is just show you what that means. Now, if I'm going to take a render of this cube right now, okay, just like so, you will see that this is our chair. Now, it's already good to create a render because then you will know what's the direction of your chair while you look at this. So you know that here, this is how this should be mounted to that size there. So you can see this is our chair. And if I will do Control D to duplicate this and bring it here and render this, you will have another chair. But now, just instead of having one chair that contain 1,000 and something faces, we only have 12, okay, because each one is 6. Now, again, you can do this with faces if you like. One face, one plain face, okay? Anyway, I'm gonna grab this and move it over here, over our stair here. Now, this is the middle, right? This is the middle of the tribune that way. So this is why I'm pointing this there. And this is also the direction of the chair, so it's good to mount this right away here. And now I'm trying to fit this and make sure that the seat is really sitting on top of this edge. So I'm going to take a one render and see what goes here in this corner. I need to bring this a little bit up and to the right. Let's do this. Well, I don't think to the right, but maybe up. Let's see. Let's take another render. Oh, I took a render which is not good. I should have taken a render from here. This is really hard to obtain what you see here. I don't know. See now, earlier it looks like it's much on the air, and right now it looks like it's okay, but maybe a little bit down. Some, maybe like so, and right now I'm not sure. So let's see. Maybe I will pick another angle to look at this. Anyway, I think you got the idea. This is how you're gonna treat this populating chair from now on. So you're gonna grab this to here, okay, and just set some space. So if this is the space between you and your chair, so your next chair should be here on this side of the chord because this is the middle. So you need to maybe lower this space a little bit more to about so, and then Control D to duplicate this chair over here and leave some of those two sides. So let's say just a little bit and just a little bit. This should do, maybe a little bit less, okay? And then I can Shift D and duplicate along this path until this stairs here, okay? Let's see. Shift D lots of times. Hopefully it will end up exactly at the stairs. Yep, that's fine. I'm gonna grab all those chairs. Control unselect tribune. Control D to duplicate this. Move it here, and sorry, I'm gonna try to match the same height, so it's just a little bit down some, and like so. Okay. Now, please check this before you do Shift D again. So Shift D, Shift D, Shift D. Let's say I check this and that's all good. I'm gonna Shift D until here. So I have this part cover. And right now, if I would do this with the high resolution model, I wouldn't be able to turn here and do this smooth maneuvers inside my scene. It just would be impossible. So you can see what the benefits of using proxies give you and why you should adapt this method into your own scene. And now you can do this with whatever object you have. I mean, you can create proxy objects of whatever you modeled and bring it up to your scene, just like the basketball hoops, which are very high res. You can create a copy of a proxy and leave one in as high res, or just simply grab this, copy it to other file, assign shaders, save that file, create a proxy from it, and import it over here. And that should do. Okay, so I'm gonna just focus here. Well, I want to see the distance in between them. I want to make sure it's like what we have between each chair. So something like so. Okay, and now I can't use this up here because this is not the same. And all you can do here is just grab those and Control D to duplicate them, move them as one group. Let's see where they are. Okay, let's assign them as group, and we can simply, well, you know, in some point it will be harder to control this, but as for the moment, I'm sure you will be able to populate the scene with the chairs without having any trouble. I do have trouble with my mouse though. So let's press half, zoom in here, make sure that this is assigned correctly over here. Maybe I have some space there, but that doesn't matter because I ain't gonna do this all over. All I'm interested is just showing you what you need to do, and you will need to do this to the rest of your model. I'm gonna save this file save scene. Okay, scene one. Let's simply zoom in and take a quick render. It's not such a quality render, it's just a render to test and see that we have a seats there. And you can see it will take time, but I already see some pickings of chairs back there. Now don't worry, whenever we will set up the render settings, they will look better. Right now, just look like it looks because we didn't have done much with our render settings. Okay. Okay. So this is it for this part of the tutorial. I really hope you enjoyed and you learned something new from this. I just started a new renderer for no reason. I'm gonna shut this, and yeah, we will meet again at the next part. And from now on, we will continue on Windows, at least for, I don't know, as long that NVIDIA will choose to update their drivers. So Yeah, that's it. Have a good day, people. Bye bye.